What's going on, guys? It's your boy LQ, Mr. Real Deal Fantasy HQ, and welcome to the RotoBaller Fantasy Sports YouTube channel. Please make sure you guys like and subscribe. And today I got my stardom sit-em defenses for week 5. Got 3 defenses you should be starting and 1 defense you should be fading. Wow, week 5, we're already here. I don't want to waste any more time, so let's get right into the episode. First up, we got this Saints defense as a lock this week going against the Patriots. Now, this Saints defense has been playing tough all season, but I like their odds this weekend to put some points on the board, being that the Patriots offense is boring. There's not many players on this offense that's jumping off the player, if any. I mean, look, they benched Mac Jones in the third quarter for Bailey Zappi last week, so there might be some quarterback changes happening in the near future, but looking at this Saints defense, they're top 5 right now in opponent completion percentage allowed, and they're tied 4th with the fewest opponent passer rating allowed in the NFL right now. So with this quarterback turmoil going on, I like my odds for the Saints to put up big points this weekend. And the Saints have had at least one takeaway in every single game they had in this season, so that's great to know as well. And we're looking at this Saints defense last week when they went against the Bucks. The Bucks were the first team to put up more than 18 points on the board against them. And look, it's a division game. They play each other twice a year, every year, so they kind of know each other's tendencies. So it's a different vibe when we're looking at that aspect of this Saints defense. So I like the Saints this week going against this wildly boring, Patriots offense. So I like them in my starting lineups to have a lot of points this week, and they could finish inside the top 5 defenses for fantasy football in week 5. Next up, I got this Ravens defense going against the Pittsburgh Steelers division game, but man, they got some turmoil over there also in Pittsburgh. While they're struggling to put points on the board, they're only averaging 15 points per game right now, which is 25th in the NFL. That is pretty bad. And also, with Kenny Pickett out and Mitch Trubisky getting the start, I like my odds of the Ravens to create some turnovers. Right now, they're allowing the 3rd fewest points per game and the 3rd fewest total yards per game. So this is a top-tier Ravens defense going against a Mitch Trubisky who's probably going to look like there's deer in the headlights. So I like their chances of creating turnovers, and also worth mentioning, they're 3rd in the NFL right now in sacks. So we have to follow the points here, follow the fantasy points, follow the sacks here with this Ravens defense as a lock this week into starting lineups. I definitely like the odds of them putting up big points this week against a Mitch Trubisky, because we all know Mitch Trubisky isn't the best quarterback, and this offense is already struggling when it comes to the O-line, the running game. You got Najee Harris running like he's running in jeans right now. So it's kind of like this is a lock this week to obviously be a top tier defense in week 5. So go ahead and slide these guys into starting lineups confidently. Even with all these injuries that the Ravens have faced this season, they are still getting it done on both ends of the ball. So this is a clear lock for week 5. Next up, I got this Lions defense going against the Panthers. And you're probably wondering, oh, wow, the Panthers again. But listen, they're not changing much to that O-line. They're still allowing the most pressure. They're still letting Bryce Young get smacked around in the backfield. Now you got this Lions defense who have 13 sacks, and they're averaging at least 3 sacks per game right now, which is 7th in the NFL. This Lions defense is getting after the quarterback, and that's where most of these points are going to come from, people. Sacks, creating turnovers, maybe some interceptions, maybe a pick 6. We've seen it last week. Now you gotta go follow the sacks and fantasy points here when you're facing a offense like the Panthers, because they are not putting up much points per game as well. They're only averaging 16 points per game, and the Lions defense, they're only allowing 20 points per game. So this is a match made in heaven right now to have this Lions defense in my starting lineup. They're creating pressure, they're getting sacks, and they're creating turnovers, which is more fantasy points each and every week. So I like this as a lock this week. Detroit, go ahead and get after the quarterback. Now to get into a defense that I think you should be fading this week. Now, it might sound crazy. Don't kill me for this. Be kind. But the Philadelphia Eagles are a team that I'm fading this week against the LA Rams. Now, they're going on the road in SoFi Stadium, and they're facing a young, fiery Rams offense right now who are 4th in the NFL in total yards per game. And listen, this offense ain't nothing to be joked with. My guy, Puka Nacua, this is the same offense that put up over 300 yards on the San Francisco 49ers a couple of weeks ago. Now, this Eagles defense, they're struggling to stop teams on third down right now that I want to point out. They're 25th in the NFL right now when it comes to opponent third down percentage. And the Rams offense, they're getting the job done on third down. They're going down, converting, and keeping these keeping these drives alive, and they're going down the field, putting a lot of yards, and they're making a lot of scoring opportunities right now. So that's what I fear. This defense, this Eagles defense used to be a team we used to fear and not want to play on Sundays, but they're allowing the 4th highest red zone touchdown percentage to teams this season. So that's what really worries me. This Eagles defense and starting lineups this week might hurt you rather than help you and maintain those 10 points that we all know and love for fantasy defenses. But man, this looks like a bad matchup for the Eagles, so I will not be having them in starting lineups for week 5. So this wraps up another great episode of RotoBaller Fantasy Sports. Please make sure you guys like and subscribe. Let's get these numbers up. And you guys can follow me on Real Deal Fantasy on all social media platforms. Until next time.